Let me ask you something. Have you ever been lying in bed at night and you get that feeling that someone is watching you? Not in your room. That would be too scary. I mean from outside. From a window across the street. From a building you've never really looked at before. Now imagine that feeling doesn't go away. Imagine you look out your window one night and you see a face. A pale face. Staring right back at you from a building that's supposed to be empty. Imagine that face starts coming closer. Every single night. And then imagine you go to that building to find out who it is, and you discover that the apartment where the face appears is yours. Same number. Same floor. Same window. But here's the thing you need to understand before I tell you this story. You're not going to believe what I found in that apartment. And by the time I'm done telling you this, you might never look out your window at night again. My name is Sarah. And this happened to me. It's still happening. Let me start from the beginning. 3 months ago, I moved into a new apartment. 10th floor. City view. It was my first place after a bad breakup, and I needed a fresh start. The apartment wasn't big, but it had these huge windows that made the whole place feel open and bright during the day. I remember the first week. I'd stand by the window with my morning coffee and just look out at the city. All those buildings. All those windows. All those lives happening at the same time. It made me feel less alone, you know? The building directly across from mine was tall. Maybe 20 floors. It looked older than mine. The windows were dusty. Some were even broken. But I didn't think much about it. In the city, there are always buildings under construction or waiting for something. My realtor had mentioned it when I signed the lease. Just a casual comment. That building across the street? I think construction stopped on it years ago. Some legal problems. It's been empty for a while. Empty. That word didn't mean anything to me then. The first few weeks were normal. I'd come home from work, make dinner, watch TV, go to sleep. Sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night. That happens when you're in a new place. Your body hasn't learned to feel safe yet. I'd get up, get a glass of water from the kitchen, and sometimes stand by the window for a minute, just looking out at the city sleeping. The streetlights, the occasional car, the dark buildings with their dark windows. And that's when I first noticed it. But I didn't think it was anything. Not at first. It was a Tuesday night. Around 3 in the morning. I woke up thirsty. That dry mouth feeling you get sometimes. I walked to the kitchen in the dark, not wanting to turn on lights and wake myself up completely. Got a glass from the cabinet. Filled it with water from the tap. I was standing there, drinking my water, looking out the kitchen window without really seeing anything. Just my reflection. The dark city behind it. Then something made me look up. Not at my reflection. Past it. At the building across the street. At one specific window. 10th floor. Directly across from mine. There was a face. I froze. The glass was still at my lips, but I stopped drinking. I couldn't move. It was hard to see details from that distance. But I could tell it was a face. Pale. Still. Staring straight at me. My first thought was, someone else can't sleep either. That's all. Just another person awake at 3 a.m., looking out their window. But then I remembered. That building was empty. The realtor said so. No one lived there. So, who was that? I stood there for what felt like a long time. The face didn't move. Didn't turn away. Didn't do anything except watch me. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I put the glass down, walked to my window, and pulled the curtains shut. I stood there for a minute, my hand still on the curtain, my heart beating fast. Then I went back to bed. But I didn't sleep. In the morning, I told myself it was nothing. Just my tired eyes playing tricks. A shadow. A reflection. Something on the glass. Not a real face. Couldn't be. I went to work. I forgot about it. Or tried to. 3 nights later. Friday. Around 2:30 a.m. I was sleeping better by then. Or so I thought. But that night, I woke up suddenly. Not thirsty. Not because of a noise. I just woke up. Like something pulled me out of sleep. I lay in bed for a while listening. Nothing. Just the usual city sounds. Far away traffic. A siren somewhere. The hum of my refrigerator. Then I remembered. The curtains. I'd left them open before going to bed. I liked seeing the city lights when I fell asleep. But now they were closed. I was sure I'd left them open. Positive. But there they were, closed tight. I sat up in bed. My heart was already starting to beat faster. I looked at the curtains. There was a small gap where they didn't quite meet. Just a thin strip. And through that gap, I could see the building across the street. The dark windows. One window in particular. The face was still there. But this time it was closer. No, that doesn't make sense. How could a face be closer from the same window? Same distance. Same building. Same floor. But I swear to you, it looked closer. More clear. I could see features now. The shape of eyes. The dark hollows where a mouth should be. Skin that seemed almost white.
Glowing.
Like it had its own light.
And it was still watching me.
This time I didn't move. I couldn't. I just sat there in my bed, staring at that face across the street. Staring at me. Watching me. Like it had been waiting for me to wake up. Minutes passed. I don't know how many. Then slowly I raised my hand. A small wave.
I don't know why.
Maybe to see if it was real. Maybe to prove to myself that it was just a person, just someone else who couldn't sleep. The face tilted its head.
Slow.
Mechanical. Like a doll. Like something learning how human bodies work. And then it smiled. Not a normal smile. A smile that was too wide. Too long. Too knowing. A smile that said, I see you. I've been watching you. And now you see me too. I scrambled out of bed. Fell over my own feet. Grabbed the curtains and yanked them shut, so hard the rod bent. I stood there with my back against the window, breathing like I'd run a mile. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. In the morning, I made a decision. I was going to find out what was in that building. Saturday morning. Bright sunlight. Everything looks different during the day. Less scary. More normal. I stood on my balcony and looked at the building across the street. In daylight, it looked exactly like what it was supposed to be. An abandoned construction project. Dirty windows. Some broken. Some boarded up. No signs of life anywhere. The 10th floor. The window directly opposite mine. I could see it clearly now. Just an empty room. I could see inside because there was no glass in that window. Just an open space. And inside that room, nothing.
No furniture. No curtains.
Just bare walls and a floor covered in dust and debris. No face. Of course, no face.
It was daytime.
But I couldn't let it go. I called the city office on Monday. Pretended I was thinking of buying a unit in that building and wanted to know more about it. The woman who answered was helpful. She put me on hold, came back, and told me what she found. That building? Construction stopped in 2018. Permit issues. The developer ran out of money. It's been empty ever since. Empty? No one lives there? No, ma'am. It's completely vacant. Has been for years. I should have felt relieved. Empty building means no face. Means my mind was playing tricks. Means I could stop being scared. But then she kept talking. Actually, that's not entirely true. The units were sold. All of them. Before construction stopped. People bought them as investments. But they never got to move in. Never got to? The buyers. They all passed away. Before the building was finished. Different years. Different reasons. But all of them owned units in that building. I felt cold. Like someone had opened a window next to me. All of them. All of them. The last one died in 2019. Apartment 1007. Same floor as yours, actually. 10th floor. The name was, oh, that's strange. What? Your name. The owner of Unit 1007 in that building. It's your name.
I didn't say anything.
I couldn't.
Mang?
Are you still there? That's impossible, I whispered. I'm just telling you what the record says. The owner of that unit is listed as, and it's your name. Date of death, October 15th, 2019. I hung up the phone. October 15th, 2019. That was more than 3 years ago. I was alive 3 years ago. I'm alive now. I'm standing here holding a phone, breathing, living. So how could I be dead? How could I own an apartment in a building I'd never been inside? How could that face be watching me from my own window? I don't remember deciding to go to that building. I don't remember leaving my apartment. I don't remember driving there. It was like my body just moved on its own. Like something was pulling me. The next thing I knew, I was standing outside 214 Harrison Street, the building from across the street. But now I was right in front of it. It looked different up close.
Wrong.
You know how sometimes you see a building and something feels off, but you can't say what? That was this building. The windows weren't lined up right. The front door was off-center. The proportions were strange. Like someone had built it from a description, not from a plan. The main entrance was boarded up with wooden planks. But there was a gap, just wide enough for a person to squeeze through if they turned sideways. I stood there for a long time. People walked past me on the sidewalk.
Cars drove by.
Normal Saturday afternoon. Everyone going about their lives. No one looked at the building. No one noticed me standing there. It was like we were invisible. I squeezed through the gap. Inside, it was dark. The lobby was full of construction debris. Drywall dust on everything. Old tools left behind. A hard hat on the floor. The smell was bad. Not just old and musty. Something else. Something sweet and rotting. Like flowers left in water too long. Like something that should have been thrown away, but wasn't. I found the stairs. They were concrete, unfinished. My footsteps echoed in a way that felt too loud. Too final. I started climbing. 1 floor.
2,
3.
5, 8, 10.
By the time I reached the 10th floor, my legs were burning, and I was breathing hard. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. The hallway on the 10th floor was pitch black.
No windows. No lights.
Nothing. I used my phone flashlight, but the light barely reached more than a few feet. The darkness seemed to eat it. Doors on both sides.
Rows of them.
All closed. All leading to apartments that no one had ever lived in. I started walking, counting as I went. 1001, 1003, 1005, and then I stopped. 1007, my number. My apartment number. But here, in this building full of dead owners, in this hallway that felt like a tomb, the door was open, just a crack. A thin line of darker darkness between the door and the frame. I pushed it open. The apartment was exactly like mine. Same layout, same size, same shape, but reversed, like looking in a mirror. The kitchen was on the opposite side. The bedroom was where my living room should be. The bathroom was flipped, but everything else was the same. Same windows, same view, same city outside. But there was someone standing at the window. A figure, back turned to me, looking out at the city, looking out at my building, looking out at my apartment. I couldn't move,
Couldn't speak.
couldn't breathe. Then the figure turned around, and I saw its face. It was me, not like me, not similar to me, exactly me. Same face, same eyes, same nose, same mouth, same everything. But wrong. So wrong. Its skin was pale, almost white, like it hadn't seen sunlight in years. Its eyes were dark. Not just dark-colored, but dark like there was nothing behind them. Dark like empty rooms. And its mouth was smiling that too wide smile. The smile from the window. It looked at me like it had been waiting for this moment. Like it knew I would come. Like it had been calling me here all along. You finally came, it said, with my voice. I've been watching you for so long. I tried to speak. Nothing came out. You're wondering who I am, it said. You're wondering how this is possible. Come here. Let me show you. It pointed to the wall. There was a mirror there. A full-length mirror, dusty and old. I didn't want to go closer. Every part of me screamed to run. But my feet moved anyway. Step by step. Closer to the mirror. Closer to whatever it wanted me to see. I stood in front of the mirror. And I looked at my reflection. But it wasn't my reflection. I mean, it was me. My face. My body. My clothes. But I looked wrong. I looked faded. Like an old photograph. Like something that had been left in the sun too long. I could see through myself in places. My hands were almost transparent. My face was blurry around the edges. And behind me in the mirror, I could see my apartment. My real apartment. Across the street. With my real body standing at the window. Staring at this building. staring at this window.
Staring at me.
The doppelganger came up behind me. I could feel its cold nearness without it touching me. This is what happens, it whispered in my ear. When you look too long, when you watch too closely, the thing you're watching starts watching back. And eventually, it pulls you across. I wanted to run. I turned around to push past it, to get out of that apartment, to get out of that building. But the door was gone. The wall where the door had been was just wall.
Smooth.
Unbroken. No door. No way out. I ran to the window, looked out, saw my building across the street, saw my apartment, saw myself standing there, watching me. But the me across the street was different now. It was smiling. That too wide smile. And it raised its hand. A small wave. The same wave I had given nights ago. You become the face in the window, the thing behind me said. And someone else becomes you. I turned around. The apartment was changing. The walls were shifting. The floor was moving. The whole place was rearranging itself. And the doppelganger was gone. But I could feel it. Feel myself. Fading. Becoming less real. Becoming something that watches from windows. I don't know how long I've been here. Days? Weeks? Months? Time works differently when you're on this side of the window. When you're the one being watched instead of the one watching. I stand at this window every night, looking out at my old apartment, looking out at my old life, watching someone else live it. Right now, there's a man in my apartment.
He moved in last week.
I watched him bring boxes up. I watched him arrange furniture. I watched him stand at the window the first night, looking out at the city, not knowing that I was looking back. He's young, maybe late 20s. He has a kind face. He laughs when he's on the phone with his mother. He cries sometimes at night when he thinks no one can see. He doesn't know about this building, about this apartment,
About me.
but he will. Tonight, he'll wake up at 3 a.m. They always do. Something pulls them to the window. Some instinct. Some memory from whoever lived there before. He'll look out. He'll see me standing here.
Pale.
Still. Watching. He'll tell himself it's nothing. A trick of light. His tired mind playing games. But he'll look again tomorrow night. And the night after. And one night, I'll smile at him. That too wide smile. The smile that was taught to me by whoever was here before. And then he'll come to this building. He'll find this apartment. He'll see himself in the mirror. And I'll be free. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. That's how it will always work. I'm sorry for what's going to happen to him. I really am. But I've been here so long. So alone. So cold. And I just want to go home.